injured here, 1v1, Green Tooth Gorge, blue side. Kalzi4 is a Commissar Lord, offensive and support commander that fights melee, starts off with an energy shield and can execute units to buff them. Chaos Librarian up against on the red side is a Chaos Sorcerer, offensive and disruptive commander that fights melee to start off. Lots of control and offensive spells, quite energy intensive. Back on good old Green Tooth Gorge, east to west are the VPs, east natural for Kalzi, central contested, and west natural for Chaos Librarian. Kalzi4 has a sentinel on the field but no sign of another Guardsman squad. Tier 1 vehicle that can decap points but cannot cap them. Walks through cover since it's a vehicle. There it is, firing its multi-laser. Not the best weapon ever, being chased off by Chaos Space Marines with their bolters. Has heavy armor, so you do not need anti-vehicle weapons to deal with it. And it will be forced off into the center. Guardsmen busy capping, taken the natural on the east side for Kalzi. Chaos Librarian with these Chaos Space Marines, 1,000 Suns. Heretics as well, of course, in their default melee state with 8 models. Quite fragile but reasonably dangerous early on with their Doom Blast. Do need to be careful though. Here come the Chaos Space Marines with their heavy armor bolters. Much more durable than the Heretics. 975 hit points. Here comes the Commissar Lord waving his little sword there. Shield goes up. There's some Zinch worship reducing the range damage and infiltrating these Chaos Space Marines, reducing the range damage that they take. And Heretics in trouble, need to retreat. Look how quickly they lose models. Have less health in Elite compared to Retail without their aspiring champion in a way. And Kalzi4 has Chaos Space Marines on the way, Havocs on the way for Chaos Librarian. Chaos Sorcerer busy capping. Kalzi4 being a bit more aggressive, getting stuck in with his Commissar Lord, trying to get XP, and decaps the west side. Chaos Space Marines taking pot shots at him. And here we see the synergy of Guardsmen repairing the Sentinel. Can really soak up damage for you when you have 2 squads repairing it in 2-1. Kalzi only has 1. Takes down a node and is going to try and decap it, but the Commissar Lord I don't think is going to be able to. Now goes into melee. We might see the power sword from this guy in tier 1. Havocs now setting up right in the face with some Zinch worship to hide them before it was too late for Kalzi4 to avoid. Now we have to retreat all the way back. Havocs are a setup team with a heavy bolter. They will suppress from long range very, very well. Can get a different weapon in tier 2 with their marks. Chaos Sorcerer down to about half of his hit points, no war gear yet. He has no XP at all. We have Guardsmen Flamers up. Do not see this very often. Gives the squad 3 Flamers. Good versus light infantry garrisons. Units in cover and buildings. There's a very nasty Doom Bolts synergizing very well with suppression, keeping that squad locked in place. And looks like these Heretics are going to follow these Havocs around and infiltrate them and be very annoying. But we do have Catachan Devils, which are a detector unit. You can tell by the eye icon above their indicator there, so they will spot any infiltrated stuff, though the infiltrated stuff will still get that 20% range damage resistance. Havocs facing their own base. Sentinel is vulnerable to setup teams, can't be suppressed but takes a lot of damage if it gets close. This is one large entity. Here come Catachans, and there is Inspire Courage from the Commissar Lord, and look at the damage to the Heretics there. That was unbelievable. Inspire Courage gives a 100% damage buff after executing a model. It can be really, really powerful engagement changer, perhaps more than any other starting ability for the commanders. Here come those Catachans. Guardsmen with their sergeant now up to 9 models. I think it also prevents the squad from retreating, which is one of the payoffs. Look at this though, Noise Marines forcing off the Catachans. I thought they were going to try and run into melee, I suppose. He thought they'd just use Cacophony, and we have double Catachans from Kalzi4. Very interesting build orders from both teams, Havocs and Noise Marines. There is the Cacophony. Knocks down all surrounding units. Allied and enemies, so you need to be careful with it. Position your noise marines well. Their noise blaster disables range weapons and does some really nice area of effect damage as well. There's a stomp from the sentinel, very nicely done, disabling the havocs and the noise marines. Sound blaster does have decent range. Their other models have bolters in retail, improving their DPS even more. Also allows them to be usable a lot more when they lose models, since they only have one sound blaster. Sentinel taking tons of damage, trying to get the hell out of there. Chaos Sorcerer is chasing, bolt pistol shots going in. And now he's in melee with it, but there's the stomp. Knockback, stun, and a small amount of damage. There's Cacophony again. He might just tough it out and then go into melee with him. Where's the Commissar Lord? He is mid and forced off. If he can get Catachans into melee with some of this heavy armor and use Inspire Courage, I'd very much like to see that engagement. Catachans with their power melee weapons, very good versus heavy armor. There is a Commissar Lord Flare, one of the most annoying global abilities to deal with. Has a very low cooldown, so you can use it very, very often. I'm not sure how much it costs, but it reduces range quite a lot. Using it to defend his generators there. Here are the Havocs though, forcing off those Catachans. Should he have gone for spotters? Catachans can help you counter a setup team, but they can't really do it by themselves like spotters can. There is Inspire Courage again on the Catachans. Oh, reliable grenade launcher loot misses, and improvised explosives a bit too far away to use. Look at the damage from the noise marines on those guardsmen. Lost about 3 or 4 models there very quickly. Huge pressure from Chaos Librarian on this power. Kalzi4 locked in his base pretty much. He's going for a heavy weapon squad. Chaos Librarian goes tier 2. There's Unreliable again. These noise marines have been awesome so far. Still have all 3 of their models, which is perhaps lucky. Is he going to detonate on these Havocs? Surely. No, perhaps he wasn't paying attention. That would have been a very nice detonation. At least one model would have gone down there. Down goes the node. Havoc setting up, covering this approach from the mid. Catachans moving in. Commissar Lord does have his power sword, also has Carapace armor, making his Inspire Courage even better in terms of cooldown and energy cost. Noise Marines just about getting away with a single model, and now the heavy weapon team is suppressing the Havocs, allowing the Commissar Lord to get in with that power sword, and Catachans can catch them on retreat. Commissar Lord takes down a model. Catachans are now in on retreat. That was nasty, down to 1 model as well. Heretics coming in with a Doom Blast to save with that suppression there. Very nice Doom Bolts as well. Vestments of the Warp up for the Chaos Sorcerer, allows him to teleport around, and he's ripping apart his Catachans now. Can he get another one in retreat? Nope. Commissar Lord comes in and knocks him over with a special attack. Will easily take down the Chaos Sorcerer in a one-on-one fight with that power sword and his shield up. Guardsman hitting power. Very nicely done by Kalzi4. Can he get these generators down? Here come Chaos Space Marines going into melee with these Guardsmen. And that is bad news for Guardsmen. They are pathetic in melee, and Chaos Space Marines are very, very strong for a ranged squad in melee. Catachans backing off slightly. They do have their Demolition Man. Up to 8 models. Guardsmen backing off. Do not retreat though. Down to 4 models. They will reinforce 2 at a time with their Sergeant. Here come the Noise Marines. Level 2 have done very, very well, forcing off the Catachans. 324, 288. There's the triple cap for Kalzi. Blood Crusher on the field, and he's got it nice and early as well. Kalzi4 is not even tier 2. Can get an autocannon or a las cannon for this heavy weapon squad, but it needs to be tier 2 for it. The Catachans themselves can also get a melter gun sergeant, but again need to be tier 2, so this Blood Crusher might be able to cause a lot of havoc. It is a demon with vehicle armor, fights melee, decent damage to all targets, and good mobility. It's not the toughest vehicle ever. 600 hit points for a melee vehicle is not great. We can get it out reasonably quick, and the mobility makes up for it. It can also charge and use a demonic roar, which forces off enemies momentarily. Goes straight after this heavy weapon squad with heavy bolter, forces them off. Catachans getting noise blasted. Heretics have an aspiring champion. He is a Chaos Marine, which makes them much better in melee and much more survivable as well. Kalzi4 forced off. Chaos Librarian might hit power with the Blood Crusher. This generator very, very low on hit points, just 49.
Structure under attack.
That was the improvised explosive going off. The Heretics will be able to spot them because they have their aspiring champion, who is a detector. It's quite difficult to shoot them down though, those improvised explosives. Very, very small, so accuracy is very poor. Down goes the node. This generator is still around though. 6 hit points. And it's not taking it down. Here come double catechins and that heavy weapon squad. Can't really do anything yet though versus the Blood Crusher. The Commissar Lord himself, of course, can get a power fist. He can get 2 power fists in fact. Noise Marines forced off, losing a model to that power sword. Disrupted is the heavy weapons, the Havoc, sorry. Commissar Lord in amongst and gets another model. Blood Crusher now fighting catechins. Heretics running away. Have no chance really versus double catechins. 300-206 is 2-1 for Chaos Librarian. And he has pushed his advantage reasonably well looking at the map. Heavy weapon squad forced into this garrison. What is this? That's a Dark Flames on the garrison. Global ability of the Chaos Sorcerer. Lots of area of effect damage over time, and down goes the heavy weapon squad. That's quite a big blow for Kalzi, because he could have given that thing a las cannon, and double melters on the catechins could have dealt with the Blood Crusher. Melter gun is up on this squad. 279-206. Chaos Librarian in the ascendancy now. How is Kalzi4 going to deal with this? Stormtroopers would be the obvious choice. They really are an awesome anti-vehicle unit with their anti-armor kit. Melter bombs, melter guns, and they can infiltrate. 269-206. He needs 400 requisition to get them on the field though, and some more resources to upgrade them. There is Inspire Courage. Using it with the All Reliable there to do some serious area of effect damage, but the Chaos Space Marines do not lose a model. These guys have their Eternal War, giving them a flat damage increase of 20% both melee and range. Guardsmen capping the west side. Noise Marines are bad news for Guardsmen and force them off. 267-201. Commissar Lord, he's done reasonably well in melee I think, taking down a bunch of models, going after these Chaos Space Marines now, but here is the Blood Crusher. Commissar Lord can't see this infiltrated stuff, and he's forced off. Catechins exploding a Chaos Space Marine with their melter gun. He's left on the ground. Havoc's almost leveled, and Stormtroopers are on the way for Kalzi. Has a decent amount of power. Look at this, over 160. Also had this power farm up. Librarian has triple up. Having to repurchase some though. Noise Marines capping the west side for a 2-1, 264-195. Sigil of the Rift is up for the Chaos Sorcerer, being seen this used reasonably well recently to really cause havoc in enemy lines. 256-195. Stormtroopers do have the anti-armor kit, and there is the melter bomb, and look at the damage from the melter guns. Blood Crusher, wow, countered so quickly and so easily by a single Stormtrooper squad with their anti-armor kit. And there is Inspire Courage. Did they have Inspire Courage on the Stormtroopers? No, they still have 5 models, and they still took it down ridiculously easily. Melter bomb, their melter bomb doing a lot of damage to the Blood Crusher to start off. Chaos Space Marines forcing them off in melee, down to 2 models. Chaos Sorcerer level 3 now. Commissar Lord is level 4, using his shield to tank damage and cap mid. Bunch of mines drop now. Do take quite a while to arm, but that stuff over there won't be able to spot them. You need to be a detector to spot mines, and they detonate on those Chaos Space Marines there, and they're going to detonate in retreat path as well, but they do get away. Flamer Guardsmen level 2 have done quite well, haven't they? Flaming the crap out of stuff. Catechins decapping Chaos Librarian's power as well. He has Raptors on the way. He will now have a nice hard counter for these Stormtroopers. They did not wait for their last reinforcement, Only 40 requisition to reinforce these guys. No power reinforcement. Catechins with all reliable. What is this? Sigil of the Rift. Seems like it was cancelled. Heretics in retreat path. Pretty good on retreat heretics with all of their melee attacks going in and their Doom Blast, which does very good damage on retreat. 233 167. Kalzi4 now has a Manticore, and here we see it go on those heretics. Will pretty much kill any heretic that it touches apart from the Aspiring Champion, but doesn't do very well. The first Manticore strike is always very, very important because it's when your opponent doesn't know it's there. Now Chaos Librarian can watch for it a bit more closely. Havoc's forced off trying to cap, but they did finish the cap. Commissar Lord again doing well. He has Aura of Discipline, a really awesome accessory, healing nearby allied infantry periodically. I'm not sure if it heals all allied infantry or just his own. I think it's all allied infantry. Also buffs their damage as well, which it does not say on the tooltip. 209 167. Raptors on the field. Do they really want to fight Catechins in melee? I guess they do, forcing them off. These guys already have their Aspiring Champion gets this 40 DPS power melee lightning claw. Suppress when they jump into combat, good versus ranged squads in general. Chaos Sorcerer might get whacked by this explosive. Only has 97 hit points. Manticore completely wasted there. Does hit the Chaos Sorcerer, doesn't take him out. 39 hit points. He's going to decap. Plague Marines now on the field for Chaos Librarian. Going to go hunt down that Manticore, I think. Really good unit. Very, very tough. 2,000 hit points and some serious health regeneration. They do not have heavy armor though. Raptors in amongst Guardsmen, forcing them off. Another all reliable. Catechins have been used very well, and there is Inspire Courage up on the squad. Heretics suppress them though, and they are forced off. Commissar Lord still level 4. Raptors still level 1. There's a Manticore strike. It's double Manticores for Kalzi. Hits his own Commissar and barely hit anything else. I'm not sure what knocked down that Raptor there, but they do get away with 4 models. 193 157. Back to these Plague Marines. They have a missile launcher which snares vehicles. I think the snare duration is going to be lowered slightly in the next update, perhaps in response to the fact that Raptors with their melter guns, which is a tier 3 upgrade, will get a melter bomb now. 182 157. We have double Manticores surrounding what I can only assume is a repair bunker. 2-to-1 cap for Chaos Librarian. Really interesting game so far, can go either way. Catechins again forced off. They need some support out there. Chaos Sorcerer runs away. There's a Manticore strike again. Very short distance, so they will land very, very quickly. But they miss everything again. He hasn't got one good hit with 2 Manticores. There's another. Surely he's going to hit something this time. Does get a very good hit on the Havocs there. But they are level 2. Oh, they do lose a model. Stormtroopers shooting them down in retreat with these melter guns. A short range weapon, which is good versus all targets. Good accuracy versus all targets, and good damage versus all targets. Balanced by the fact that they are short range, of course. 153, 157. It's a 1-to-1 and it's very close. Chaos Raptors catching these Stormtroopers in retreat, or do they? No, they don't. There is Inspire Courage on these Guardsmen. Unfortunately for them, they cannot upgrade to plasma guns. Stuck with their flamers, which are set to get the same buff as Tactical Marine Flamers in the next update. Raptors jump the hell away. These guys now have their Commissar squad leader up to 12 models. Raptors eat a Manticore strike there. Only lost a single model though. 153, 157. It's still a 1-to-1. West side is turning red though. Chaos Space Marines capping it. No sign of a mark or their Aspiring Champion. Where are the Plague Marines? Coming back. They are pretty slow. And again, Chaos Librarian gets his power hit. And look how much resources Kalzi4 has. Could go tier 3. In fact, both players could go tier 3. Both have used a reasonable amount of red, so they can't drop nukes. 144, 157. Gens are completely wiped. There is Inspire Courage again on the Guardsmen. Not sure why. They're not attacking anything. Here we go. Here come Noise Marines. They will hard counter those Guardsmen though with that Noise Blast. And look at the damage. Heretics coming in. Kalzi4 completely forgetting about these Guardsmen and loses them. Not sure what went on there. 128, 157. Oh, I think he was busy microing up here. Plague Marines have lost a model, but look at that health regen. Downside being, of course, that they only have normal armor. Plague Marines teleported in with Sigil of the Rift. Awesome move by Chaos Librarian. He's going to take down this Manticore now. Easily tanking the damage from that heavy bolter on front of the Manticore. One more shot and down it goes. And both Manticores are out of action. Beautiful play by Chaos Librarian. Catachans planting an explosive mid. There it is. Are they going to decap as well? Nope, Stormtroopers are going to decap. West side turning blue. Kalzi4 under pressure again, goes tier 3, only has double Catachans and Stormtroopers. Not sure what happened when he lost his Guardsmen. I suppose he was just too busy over on the east side. Raptors jumping into the Catachans, but the Commissar Lord is there and he's going to lose these Raptors. You cannot jump Raptors out again quickly because their jump costs 65 energy, but they do get away with 13 hit points. Wow, that is very lucky. 105, 144. Kalzi4 sees the funny side and he has some serious map control here. Look at this. Chaos Librarian only has his rec point fully matured to plus 30, even getting that power decap now. GG, says Chaos Librarian. 105, 120, and Chaos Librarian concedes. Wow, was that premature? I think it was. He had a decent amount of resources. Kalzi4 only had 3 units. I don't think he realised how little Kalzi4 had left. He was tier 3 with an insane amount of resources though. Could have got a Bane Blade pretty quickly, so I suppose that's something. But I do think that was a slightly premature concession by Chaos Librarian. Very nice play from both players. That Sigil of the Rift hunting down the Manticore was awesome. And the Commissar Lord did very well in melee. Got to level 7 with the Power Sword. Thanks for watching guys. I will see you next time.